Put it right up top. Okay, so we shared a link with what we're going to be talking about today. And what we're talking about today has a lot to do with the free crystal bowl meditation and Reiki healing that we have for Saturday at 6:30. And so I hope you'll join us for that. But of course, I've been praying and asking about the information that I want or that I'm supposed to bring forth when I had this idea of doing this free crystal bowl meditation. And as soon as you ask a question, you start receiving your answers from the universe. And so I ask everyone to keep doing that, keep open. We're going to talk about things that led us to this point. We had no plan on going live today, except that the information was coming through so much that we wanted to share this, and we wanted you to have this in your mindset, especially if you plan to be at our session on Saturday. It's going to be a live session Saturday, but it's going to be on our Facebook page, so it's something that you can do at any time. And but these are still things that we want you to really contemplate and think about until that, and following through the new moon, and actually for the next 7 years. So I received messages this morning that brought me to Mother Energy, and with Melissa's help brought me also to the Pleiadians. And so Melissa shared with me this article that is there for anyone to look at. We're going to be referencing that this whole time and just sharing some other things that have come up for us as well. So the Pleiades are a star system, and they're identified by these 7 stars that we can see. And the Pleiadians, if anyone knows me and knows the guides that I work with, I call them the 12, and they're of this energy, the Pleiadians. So I work with them closely, and it was like no surprise that the messages that came through were from them. And then when Melissa was like, oh, I just saw this article, and of course everything just matches up so that we can go ahead and give this message to everyone. So we're just going to take some things from this article, and we're going to talk. You want to first just talk about Mother Energy in general?
Yes. So we had touched on Mother Energy a couple weeks ago, and as it's developing, we're kind of understanding it as like whatever you need it to be. Mother Energy is supportive, and that support looks different for everybody. So of course, Mother Energy is going to look different to everybody. It's going to be dependent on like how you even view Mother Energy in general, how you view your mother, how you view yourself as a mother, or people that you know who are mothers. All of that kind of correlates with how you perceive, understand, and apply this type of energy. To me personally, it's unconditional love. It is that voice in your head that says, you got this, you could do this. It's always there cheering you on. Mother Energy, I connect to like my higher self energy. I always just kind of saw it as like a good mom, you know. Basically, if I couldn't talk to my mom, I would channel that type of energy. And sorry, that's a fly.
We have the back door open, sorry.
Flies are significant of change. But yeah, it's that comfort, you know. I personally have a good relationship with my mom, so I already had like a premise to know what that felt like. But if you didn't have a good relationship, or you didn't have a mom around, or a mom figure, it would be, you know, whatever you would look at as something supportive, loving, divine, and that's gonna change.
And yeah, and I think that's the purpose of the fly too is what you think of Mother Energy might not be exactly what Mother Energy is. And we were even tossing that around, like what is Mother Energy? And then we were going through all these different types of things. So even if you think of like mother nurturing, but then there's the whole having the baby part, and that's like painful and bloody, and like there's all these other things to Mother Energy that are things that we don't normally talk about or consider to be a part of Mother Energy. And so part of this is allowing this Mother Energy to come in wherever you need it. I love it that if I ask my siblings, like, what's your perfect day with mom? We all have a different response because we all need mom's love in a different way because we're all different beings. But yet you think that one person who is mom to 5 children would represent the same thing. And it's not. It's based on our own self and love. For me, I was watching a TV show, and this is what Mother Energy meant to me. Someone who believes in you, who believes in your potential, celebrates your successes, counsels you when you fall apart, helps you when you need help, and if you don't need help, gets out of the way. And all of this to me means I love you. I love you. And within Chinese medicine, we talk about duality, masculine, feminine, yin and yang. But if you really look at that in Taoism, there is always a piece of the other within the one piece. It's never, this is just it. You have some of that masculine energy within Mother Energy. And you have the opposite always. So we're trying to find balance in this and understand what we need from this. Even in the lower chakras and the upper chakras, every opposite one corresponds. So root to crown, sacral to third eye, solar plexus to throat. And then heart has its duality of its own as well. But the message from both root and crown is you're not alone. I'm here for you. So whether you're looking at that from a feminine point of view, which you might gather from the earth, or you're looking at a masculine point of view, which you might gather from the heavens, either way, that message is the same. And so we're asking everyone right now to really what does Mother Energy mean to you? It's going to be different. There is no right or wrong answer. And that has a lot to do with the meditation that we're going to be doing on Saturday, is to receive that message that you need to hear from Mother Energy.
Yes, and I thought it was interesting. Veronica and I had talked a while ago about Mother Energy, and I realized Mother Energy for me is logic. It's got a real masculine vibe to it for me because of the way that I was brought up. My mom, she helped me in this area, in all my upper chakras. So she reminded me, there's always logic. You can always explain or understand something deeper. So that, to me, when I understand something, I feel comfortable, and it lights up my lower chakras. So it's going to look different, and my dad's energy is a lot different. He does come a lot from heart. So I felt more of a feminine energy from him, that it was this getting me into my feelings part, whereas my mom was look at it logically, and the blend of both of those together really helped me, and it helped me understand myself a lot too in that. But I would have never known that, and I would have had conflicting viewpoints if I didn't first of all realize that and lay the preconceived notions of these energies down. And once we figured that out, I even told my mom and my dad this, and they're like, yeah, I can see that, I get that. And it helps you understand not just yourself, not just your upbringing, but how you see this divine God energy, And then
That's exactly what it is, divine God energy.
Yeah.
One of the other things is, I know and it's been going on, people being laid off, not working, but I'm starting to feel a lot more of the self-worth that's attached to what we do. And so when people are laid off from jobs where that was the one thing, like, I know I'm good at that. I know when I do that, I'm in service of others. I'm giving. People love to take what I have to give, and you take that away, and now people are like, well, then again, like, who am I? What do I do? It feels like a failure. And for me, this is a lot of times where Mother Energy comes in, is when you feel you have failed, Mother Energy is there to pick you up and to say, you're going to learn great things from this, baby. Like, this is just a part of your journey that if you didn't go through it, you wouldn't become exactly the person you're supposed to be at this moment. And when we don't go through that or feel that, we sometimes distract our energy by putting this into something else, like a cause. Anything else where it's like, well, at least there I feel necessary, at least there I feel like I'm doing good, at least there I'm sticking up for somebody else. But at the end of the day, we're still feeling that it's still not fulfilling me. And so tapping into this Mother Energy releases you from what you believe a mother is supposed to do on earth to this whole thing of why we came here, who we are, what we're doing, the self-identity, and saying it's because you failed that you're going to learn something great here, and I'm here for you, and we're going to get through this together. So I'm going to go ahead and just start reading some, and you read your favorite quotes from here too. In one of them it says, it's a channeled message through the Pleiadians. We don't want you to think that the earth is a dying place that has lost its way. It is not. It is a thriving place. If you could see it through our eyes, you would see its beauty, its magnificence, its splendor. And to me, that's us. Like, we don't see you, if someone comes in sick or in pain, I don't see you sick or not good enough. I see like, oh, okay, we got to do some work here to help remind them who they are and why they came here. I love it. I love to bring people back to that area of potential, but how do we know where to work until we get to that place where we're hurting or we're afraid? But once we know that, it's like, and we talked about mirrors the other time, and it's like, a lot of times you can use your mirrors to see that potential that you have. Other people will let you know, like, oh, I hear you're upset, but I mean, you've gotten through worse. Like, I know you can get through this. You know, you always say blah, blah, blah. And it helps to get us back to remembering who you are. To see Earth's beauty, and it will reveal more of its beauty to you. And again, to me, this is the reflection of each individual person. The Earth is always listening. Ask, and you will be shown.
So in that, I wrote a quote based on that. And when all you have to do is ask to be shown, the receiving end of that would be open enough to receive the knowing to the answer, and humble enough to understand it. And to me, that means be open enough to receive it, open yourself to allow the information in, and step back out of your limitations and blocks, and be humble enough to understand the information, which means apply it. It means look at where it's coming in, why it's coming in, what you're seeing, in a way that works for you, where you are right now. You know, with all this Mother Energy, that Mother Energy is saying, right where you are right now, let's work from right here, because you got it right here. You know, the next step, okay, no problem. But first, let's look at it. Let's understand it so that we can change it going forward, so we don't keep coming back here and keep manifesting and creating the same things.
Beautiful. There's so much on here, and we're going to be talking about this more in detail on Tuesday. We won't have our regular session on Monday because it's Memorial Day, so happy Memorial Day. Hope you enjoy that day with your family. But we will be here on Tuesday to do the class, and we're going to see what other messages that we have received. This portal is at its high point today, but it lasts until the weekend, and so we're hoping to gather more information and be able to share that with you as well. But right now we want to remind all Earth dwellers that your state of reality is based not on what is happening outside of you, but what is happening inside of you. And again, this is some of that mirror things that's coming up, but it's you are the creators of your life. We were talking a lot about fate and choice, and what does choice really matter if everything is fated? And what I've been feeling is that your fate is you came here to remember who you are. And so you're like, who is Batman? I said his name before. Bruce Wayne. Okay, so Bruce Wayne was fated to be Batman. But now that he realizes he's Batman and lives with that in his heart, every day is a new adventure. And where was my quote? To say you have no choice is a failure of imagination. And imagination, to me, anything that you can think of, it can be done. Why? Because it's a part of your remembrance of self. Where does that thought even come from? Like, you know it. You can walk into that reality. So as long as you keep imagination going, as long as you keep asking, what can I have today? What can I do? How can I fulfill this person that I know who I am and bring this out into the world and still have every day feel like my birthday? It's imagination, it's remembrance. And we can create, there's so many different realities, but the one that we walk into is the one that we're most aligned with in our heart. It's like the radio signals, like there's so many radio stations out there, but one comes up really clear and you keep that one on. That's walking into the reality that you're meant to be in at this time. And a lot of this energy is helping you just to remember and be so happy and so grateful for that being that you are, because that being is here to love and help and serve others, as well as to fill up on the love that's available to all. Alrighty, go ahead with your next one, honey.
With that, I like that. Like in the shows that I watch a lot of like CW shows, so The Flash, Supergirl, Arrow, that kind of stuff, and they always have this moment in each season where what they were going to do doesn't work. You know, what they're going to do to save the world doesn't work, so they have to find another way. And the quote that they always use is, "There is always another way," and that is this using your imagination to create possibilities. Knowing, and you don't have to be backed against a corner just to figure out, you know, okay, I have to go a different way, otherwise the worst thing that can happen will happen. You can just play with other possibilities, play with the fact that, you know, the future is always in flux. Even with fate lines, we have the ability to take different paths, and you get to choose what path you take. You just have to see it and create it and live it. And I think that's really important for this energy right now, especially coming up to a new moon. New moon is a lot of like the rebirth energy, the beginning of a cycle, new beginnings, new everything with new moon. So at each new moon, it's important to look at who you are, you know, as who you've been and who you want to become, and then planting those seeds accordingly.
Beautiful. Thank you for bringing in the new moon. So important right now, too. One of the guides that has been real strong with me lately, who just keeps popping up, is Mary Magdalene. And she's represented with a lot of this feminine energy as well, but she comes to me as a balance between this energy and understanding this energy. So I'm just going to jump into my crystal recommendations. Like I said, we're going to read the article, and please, if you have questions or your own experiences, if you do the crystal bowl meditation, if you would please share the messages that you received during that meditation so that we can open up and keep talking about more ideas from this beautiful article. But some of the crystals that, so I felt like grab red for her. So red jasper, is one of the crystals, which is I just read, is in the family of, this is the one that I always say wrong, but I don't care, this is how I say it, chalcedony. But chalcedony is a bluish crystal, and I know it's really good for mothers that are breastfeeding, especially if they're having some problems with breastfeeding. That's one that I always give, but it's just a great crystal for new mothers. And so this is a family, the red jasper, of that, which is this nurturing energy. But I was also drawn to howlite, which is my Jesus crystal. So some people believe Jesus and Mary Magdalene to be twin flames. To me, it is their energy that is just so strong to bring balance where we need balance. And so when you call on one, you call on the other. They come together. And so if you can even just imagine those crystals together during the meditation, or if you have them, you can use them. You can pick them up here if you want, but you don't have to have them. You just have to have the intention. You can grab any clear quartz, which you can always add to any of your crystals to amplify their powers, but the clear crystals can be, you can put any crystal that you want. So you can just take this one and say, I want red jasper and howlite to be a part of this session, and so it is. And so, so I would love for you to call on her energy also during this time. I believe she's also connected to the Pleiadians along with Jesus. And if you don't know who they are or whatever that is, it's just a very loving energy. It is all about unconditional love. It's about remembering who you are, why your story matters, so that you can bring this to the world, so that basically we can all help one another to keep growing and learning.
Yeah, and then I'll put mine in. So with all of this kind of mother, knowing yourself kind of energy, seeing yourself through the eyes of your higher self or divine love energy, I like the citrine. I've been really loving on citrine lately.
Mm-hmm.
That one's really pretty. And of course, rose quartz and the blue kyanite. This one is really nice to balance all of the chakras together. The opalite, it's a beautiful higher chakra crystal, and of course, surprise, surprise, labradorite. And this one is just really nice to see yourself in different ways when you're doing this kind of work. And then I did incorporate some other like green crystals. I was feeling the mother energy is green this time, and usually I see it as like the higher heart chakra, that light pink. But we have the green garnet, the green kyanite, and the unakite, which is that blend of green and pink. And then this is that chalcedony, the blue chalcedony too, which is a beautiful calming.
Beautiful. Alrighty, so thank you, Rita and Angelica, for joining us here today, and everyone else who is going to be watching this. Please, and Angelica and Rita, if you would I'd love to have you on Tuesday so that we can talk a little bit about the shift that you feel, and everyone, please, the shift that you feel after this portal light is allowed to affect us all in different ways. Every message is going to be different, and every message is so important, and whatever message you receive can help another. And so I really hope that you will share that, whatever that message that you get is, with others, so that you can help them on their journey as well. So I will see you guys on Saturday, 6:30, and then we'll see you on Tuesday. Hopefully we'll get some practitioners to join us and comment about this as well. Thank you, Angelica. We'll see you then.
All right.
Okay, love you guys. Bye.
Oops.